Hello everybody and welcome to That's Football. This is your latest transfer news as Declan Rice looks like it's a done deal to Arsenal. We'll also be talking about the Liverpool midfield situation and Chelsea. Will they be signing Onana, who was absolutely incredible in the Champions League final at the weekend? What an asset he would be to the Premier League. Are Chelsea going to sign him? Let's get into it. So look, we're going to start off with Declan Rice. Manchester United target, Chelsea target, maybe even a Man City target. Well, the feeling is that as early as this week, although you've got to take into account the England internationals could have an impact on that, so maybe next week. I was told this deal has a feeling of deal done for Arsenal. Logically and realistically, they've put the most effort into this deal. They were talking to him in January. They've made it very, very clear to Declan that he is their priority. There's a place in that team for him. He could end up being their captain within a couple of years' time. They fought with Manchester City for the title. They're back in the Champions League and they're in London. It's tick, 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 tick. They've got the money. He's the priority. That deal can get done very, very quickly. West Ham are open to the move. Whereas Chelsea seem to have missed the boat. Man City potentially aren't looking at a player like that. And Manchester United, with their sale process, they're not going to look at that. And also, well, they are going to look at it, but they're not going to be in it. And Liverpool don't have that sort of money to spend on one player. So Liverpool are looking at cheaper options, as we've seen with Alexis McAllister and Thuram and Nice. So it's looking like deal done for Arsenal. That's where it is at the moment. Arsenal fans may take pleasure and comfort in that, but they'll also be very wary of recent deals where they've looked like done deals like Rafinha. The question is, when is this going to happen? Arsenal are working on it. They want to do other deals. They want to get it done. They want some impetus and they want some excitement around the club after a little bit of a fall off at the end of the year. They want to show that they want to go again. They want to get this deal done and a couple of other deals done, and they want Declan Rice to be their priority signing. So, look, this could happen this week. We could get We could get a deal done officially, but obviously he's on England international duty, and that can have a bit of an impact. So it could be a few days yet. But deal done for Declan Rice to Arsenal is expected in the industry because Arsenal are the clear front runners at the moment. And I suppose, just going back what I was saying there, if it wasn't going to be Arsenal, who is it going to be? Would Declan Rice fancy Man United enough to wait and see how much money they've got after they've bought a striker and after they've bought Mason Mount and if they get a new owner? He might wait. Would Chelsea come back in and say, we really want you as a Chelsea fan as a kid? I don't know. I think at the moment, percentage-wise, you're moving way up 75-80% chance that he's going to be an Arsenal player. And it'd be a very good signing for them as well. I've said this before. I think with Declan Rice in a top six club, without having to be so defensive because West Ham had to be, you'll start to see a different side to his game that has almost been kept secret at West Ham. We've seen glimpses of it, but I think you'll see a different type of player. I think it'd be a good signing for Arsenal. So let's wait and see what happens with that. Staying in London, let's talk about Chelsea. They're searching for a goalkeeper, which is interesting because how much money have they spent on Mendy and Kepa over the last few years? But look, it's a new manager. He's got every right to say, I want a different type of goalkeeper. I'm not a massive fan of Kepa. I know some people think he had a good season for Chelsea. I don't personally think he doesn't fill me with confidence, and I'm not even a bloody Chelsea fan. Mendy, I thought, looked good, but then for some reason it's just not worked out. They're going to have to move those goalkeepers off to bring another goalkeeper in, and Inter Milan want as much as £50 million, of course. But I think that, I don't know whether Onana... Look, I don't think Man United are going to spend that much money on a goalkeeper anyway because we've got bigger priorities, but I would like him at Manchester United. I think that the one thing I would say about Onana is, and we know the problems he had in the World Cup last year because of his exploits outside the box and wanting to almost be a sweeper. He is a sweeper keeper, but he's fantastic on the ball. And I think for the Premier League, sometimes signings like this happen where you go, I quite enjoy watching that team because they've got that player. And funnily enough, with Chelsea, when they bought Zola all those years ago, I liked watching Chelsea because I loved Zola. What a player. Not a Chelsea fan, but I liked Zola. And I think if Onana did come into the Premier League and did go to Chelsea, and look, maybe that's probably the most logical place he's going to go, it would be interesting to watch them. I think he's a fascinating goalkeeper in the way that he plays out from the back and the confidence he has in himself. there's always the fear that it can go wrong, but he's just played in the Champions League final. I think it'd be very interesting if Chelsea can get that deal done. The interesting thing with Chelsea with me at the moment is I know they want Caicedo, but what's their striker situation? They have to buy a striker. If Todd Boehly gets it wrong this summer again, he ignored it last summer, he ignored it in January, goals win games. Now, I know Graham Potter got the sack and Chelsea fans wanted that, but statistically, if you look at Chelsea under Potter, they weren't conceding many goals. They were creating loads of chances, but they weren't scoring. They've got to spend as much money as they've got on a striker. That has to be the priority for Chelsea. And I think it's quite interesting at the moment that it's quite quiet around the striker. Now, information is that they're going to do everything they can to get Victor Osimhen. Information is that Pochettino would love Harry Kane. So are Chelsea quiet in the striker market because their two striker targets are possibly unobtainable? They will bring a striker in. I think it's going to be really interesting what they do there. Up to Liverpool. Let's go up north. Midfield is what Liverpool are looking at. Also a left-footed centre-back. Interesting that they want a left-footed centre-back. I think Timber from Ajax is a consideration, but he's right-footed. Ndika, I think, is available on a free. He's an interesting left-footed centre-back. Where might Liverpool go for a left-footed centre-back? Keep an eye on that one. Also, the midfield is what they're looking at. Now, over the weekend, apparently Manu Kone is not as advanced in relation to Liverpool as some people might have thought. Thuram of Nice looks like it'll be the next deal to follow Alexis McAllister. And if that happens very soon, i.e. this week, I think Liverpool are ticking over quite nicely, considering we've not hit the middle of June yet, and they'll have two midfielders in an area where they definitely need to improve. I don't really think I don't really think Liverpool need strikers. I think they're okay in that area. Man City, PSG, Bernardo Silva, that is still ticking along. Fabrizio Romano has said that they've been looking at this deal since March. Manchester City will want a good fee. Look, whether Bernardo Silva is going to go to PSG, Barcelona, wherever, whether Gundogan's going to leave at the end of the month or not, you could argue it's a good time to go because you've basically completed it. At City, you know, you're going to win the Premier League, you've already won the treble, you've won the Champions League. If you want to go and try something new, now's the time to do it. I wouldn't be surprised if they both are wearing light blue for Man City next year. I wouldn't be surprised if they both go. But does it not intrigue you what Man City are going to do in the transfer market? Like, they've already got a team that will probably win the treble next year, and they're going to buy. And they're going to buy quite comfortably because they've actually been successful and that generates income. What is Pep going to add to that team? What is he going to do? We've heard about Kovacic. That won't be particularly expensive. What is he going to add to that team this summer? We don't know. Nobody knows what he's looking at. There's talk of a winger. I mean, what are they going to add? Like last year it was Haaland and it took them up a level. I think it's really scary, as much as it's intriguing, as to what Man City will do this summer transfer window. Especially if Gundogan and Bernardo Silva do go, what are Man City looking at doing this summer? We knew about Haaland very early last summer, but what are Man City looking to do? The team that is already miles out in front. It's boring, but what are they going to do in the summer transfer window? It's going to be really interesting. Bit of exciting news as well. 3:30 today, we're live on That's Football. We've got Fabrizio Romano on the show. Make sure you tune in. We've got Will, who's going to be speaking to Fabrizio at 3:30. We've got Fabrizio on over the summer, every couple of weeks on a Monday afternoon. So check that out. We'll be asking him all about these things and getting a bit of information on what's going on. General transfer news on That's Football with Fabrizio Romano. Make sure you smash a like and subscribe. We'll see you at 3:30. Thanks for watching. Get your comments in below.